Because we have Riley Davis, ACC sleepers correspondent. Yes, I said ACC correspondent. Tristan, don't comment. You're not our correspondent. You don't want it bad enough. I mean, it just is what it is. I want to do a little preseason honors thing with the ACC. I want to pick a player of the year. I want to do a breakout player of the year, a wild card team. So a wild card is like, I guess, high ceiling, very low floor, and then a sleeper team, a team that no one's really talking about. So let's go ahead and start with the player of the year in the ACC. I know I just gave a Nigel Pack shout. I think I might stay firm on that pick. I think Nigel Pack ends up being ACC player of the year over guys like Duke. Now, Duke might win the ACC, but because they're so talented, it might be a little more balanced and the stats won't be there. If you give me like Miami as a second or third team and Nigel Pack's averaging 18 and 6, I think those are player of the year type numbers. So I'm going to go Nigel Pack for ACC player of the year.
I kind of feel like Kyle Filipowski deserves the preseason award, and that I would just sound like a hater if I don't give him that, because he is a, potential lottery pick who averaged 15 and 9 last year. The hips, again, like we've talked about this on the show before, like hip surgery is a big deal. Like you can't just gloss over that. And I want to see that he still is that same guy that he was last year, and honestly better. So I would lean Filipowski. I think like if I'm voting with my heart, I think Armando Bacot finally gets it done, because he's sort of been like, he was on the cusp of that 2 years ago, was the runner up to Alondas Williams when they went to the national championship game. But yeah, I'll go Filipowski.
I'm going off the board on this one. Buckle up, boys. Judah Mintz is my pick for ACC player.
Holy.
I'm picking Judah Mintz. I think he is the best player in this conference.
Really? Wow.
I will put it simple as that. I think Judah Mintz could be a first-team All-American. I get Flip is good. I don't get the Proctor hype. I think that's been gassed up way too far. I think those guys and everyone on Duke are going to hurt each other's numbers individually. No one's going to have player of the year numbers. I think RJ Davis might oddly have a better chance at winning player of the year than Armando Bacot does. I like the Pat call out. I think Pat could absolutely win it. I picked Miami to win the league, so I wouldn't be surprised there. But I'm trusting my gut on this and saying that I think Judah Mintz is the most talented player here. I think he could have the production. I think the guy who murders people with his car is gone. And I think there's going to be an uplifting presence for that locker room and for Judah himself. Again, I love lottery picks that come back for their sophomore year. That's Judah Mintz.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some Syracuse love coming later, so I don't think that's crazy. I think it's a little crazy. But yeah, just know I see you. I respect you. I think it's a little out there, but yeah.
So now, you know what? Now I'm diving into this more. We said like a great year for like Nigel Pack could average like 17 and 5, right? That could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did Judah Mintz average last year, boys?
No, okay, but part of that 17 and 5 is that Miami might be a top 3 team in the ACC.
Right.
Syracuse could be in the dormant.
What if they're not though? Like they have the talent to be okay. Where this ACC is not like the Big East where there's 7 great teams. They just got to play fourth.
Okay, but 17 and 5 for Nigel Pack at 2 or 3 team in the ACC. Okay, you get 19 and 4 out of Judah Mintz, but they're like the 5th team in the ACC. Which way are you leaning for player of the year?
Judah Mintz averaged 16 and 5 last year. I just want to say that.
Did he really?
Yeah. Can I give you? I want to read you just box. This is one of my favorite games to play. Here's Judah Mintz's last. Hold on, let me tally this up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Judah Mintz's last 7 games of the year. 20 points. 9 assists, 1 turnover, 18 points, 1 assist, 23 points, 1 assist, 16.6 assists, 23.7 assists, 17 points, 5 assists, 18.7 assists. That's an every single night guy. Like this flipped on. I'm in. I think his numbers are going to be here. I think at minimum he's like 18 and 5 this year. I think there's a world where he's like 20 and 6 this year. And I don't know if they'll be good or not, but I know that Judah Mintz and whoever's with Judah Mintz should beat like Pitt and like the 6 worst teams in this conference. It's not going to be hard to win games in the ACC if you have a lottery pick.
I'm not mad at that. I do have some Syracuse love coming in the other part of the segment as well. So I'm going to shift to that right now. And I don't know if this aligns with where Riley was going, but my breakout player of the year is JJ Starling from Syracuse. And I feel like that might be the reason that Judah doesn't average those type of crazy numbers, because last year he was playing, even though honestly those are impressive numbers that he put those up with Joe Girard and the type of player he is. But let's also not forget that Judah Mintz got slapped by Doug Eder and didn't do anything about it. That docks any box score things you can read to me. But my breakout player is JJ Starling. I think that he's a McDonald's All-American. I was high on him coming out of LaLu. I think he's a really, really good player. And he came off the board extremely early in the transfer portal. So it's kind of like people moved on from how good of an ad that was. But like if he was maybe, I guess, entering the portal at a different time, people will be talking about him a lot differently. And I think he's a really good player. And I think he has a chance to form a really good backcourt with him and Judah. So I got JJ Starling as my breakout player of the year in the ACC.
Yeah, I'll stay with the backcourt love and go to Miami, actually, and go Wooga Poplar. I think Wooga Poplar is, he'll be a perfect second banana next to Nigel Pack. I don't think like he's going to average the type of numbers that Isaiah Wong did last year by any means, or get close to that. I want to say Wong was at 14 or 15 points a game, and Pack was maybe at 13 or 14 a game. So I like Pack getting that bump to like 16, 17, 18, and Poplar probably settles in more at like a 12, 13 point per game score, but he does everything else really well. He'll be their best defender. And for a team that like desperately need someone on the perimeter to step up and play some defense, I think that's going to be really vital. Good secondary playmaker, and he's like super clutch. It seemed like throughout the ACC tournament, NCAA tournament, Wooga Poplar was knocking down corner threes when they needed it. So that's my breakout guy.
What other ones are we doing after this? Are we doing like transfer and freshman of the year?
No, we're just doing wild card team and sleeper team.
Okay, then I feel like I could go to some of the names that I want to do here. Can I pick a freshman for breakout player of the year?
I'll allow it.
I'm going Keyshawn George from Miami.
So you love Miami this season.
I like Miami a lot this season. Are you familiar with
Okay.
Keyshawn at all?
I am, because you told me. Or you talking to Riley? Sorry.
I'm talking to both
haven't-
you guys.
Yeah, I haven't watched him. All I know is just from like what I've seen on Twitter. He's like a 6'8" shooter. Did he play professionally, internationally, or something?
Played professionally, internationally, like had some very solid numbers in a very solid league, and he's a 6'8", 200-pound freshman guard. I love this. Like, I think he's a professional bucket. I will not be surprised at all if he's like a 10 plus points per game scoring freshman next to Nigel Pack, and they're very, very good.
Very excited to watch Miami this season.
Also, his name is Keyshawn George.
Great name. That's
Kid
like
Gorgeous. Kid
first
Gorgeous
name.
2.0.
It might be Kid Gorgeous 2.0.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on to the wild card team. And wild card team is high ceiling, but also very low floor team. Riley, can I throw it to you first on this one?
Yeah, for sure. This is what I was hinting at with Syracuse. I think this ceiling is like a second weekend team because that backcourt's awesome. I think Mintz averaged, like Greg said, 16 a game last year, and he hit 8 threes. he hit single digit threes. If he can even make like 15 or 20 threes this year, that opens up a whole new level of his game. I love the JJ Starling pickup, like you said, Card. They also brought in Chance Westry, who's a former top 40 guy from Auburn, who's 6'6" wing, which like this league doesn't have many guys with that combo, like with that size and skill combo. Plus they got a bunch of sophomores who are like might be able to hit their stride, like Chris Bell, another 6'7" guy, Malik Brown, 6'8". Like they have so much length and guys who could make that freshman to sophomore leap. Plus Benny Williams is back, who's another IMG kid who kind of came on a little bit last year. Like he was pretty much unplayable as a freshman and got to be pretty serviceable down the stretch of conference play. So I love the Syracuse team ceiling, but there's also a chance, like if Red Austrie just like is a bad coach, they're going to drop some games that they shouldn't and maybe finish, below, like at 500 in the ACC or something, and are NIT bound.
Okay. I think I'm going UNC on this one. And I'm high on UNC, but I truly think that it could go south for them. It gets to a point where there's like, oh man, life isn't sweeter on the other side without Caleb Love. Oh, maybe it was us. And based off what I've seen, and it might change with the players that are coming into this team, obviously, but when I talk about teams that I don't think react well to adversity, UNC falls in that mold. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when things don't go well. That's why I kind of give them the high ceiling, low floor, because I also think they could get it together and they have enough talent and players to be a team that challenges for an ACC title. I believe that. But I do think they got a very realistic floor too of kind of falling off the map.
Mhm.
I'm really sorry, but I'm confused on the prompt now. Is this is team we think could underachieve?
No, it's a team that could either
The term was wild card team. So like for the Big Ten, I would say it's like Indiana. Like I think Indiana could be really good, but they could also be real bad.
Oh, so like a boom or bust scenario.
Kinda, yeah. I guess wild card is not the word.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough because all the teams like I would highlight here, I think are either just like, I don't know, like guaranteed to bust, or like I don't have many I'm concerned about the outcomes from. I think North Carolina is going to take a step forward and be good. But I think that probably has to be the answer here. They're probably still the most volatile group just by default. Like I would like to say Virginia, but I don't see a world where Virginia's good enough to qualify for boom or bust. I just think they're a bust. And then you go down the list, like if this was supposed to be like slept on team, I was honestly going to talk myself into Notre Dame or Louisville, but like there's no real boom there. Like a boom would be like win 6 games in the ACC for them. So I guess by default, it's North Carolina.
Virginia is like round of 64 or bust. That's their boom.
Yeah. I got to go Carolina by default. And I think the other teams we mentioned, like I think Syracuse and Miami, I really think are going to be good teams. So I can't envision them busting.
Okay. You know what? I'm doing an audible here because my last one was sleeper team, and I feel like that's kind of redundant to what we already talked about. I think it's it was already spoken about, but I do want to throw it out there. We threw it out a couple episodes ago. I don't know why you are I mean, I know why you are sleeping on Louisville, and I'm not saying that they're going to make a jump this season, but like I'm not selling my Sky Clark stock. Dennis Evans is 7'9". Like they got some type of things there. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I think it'll look better than last year. So I'm going to go ahead and keep holding that stock. So thank you guys for indulging in that ACC exercise with me. And because that went a little bit too long, I'm going to have to shift from our Bucks Lions talk, unfortunately, even though the Lions are going to beat the Bucks. I think they're still Riley's Bucks. I'm not really sure nowadays.
My Bucks.
Well, it's Riley's Lions, we've been told. So
yeah. So I mean, I don't
#1 pride, baby.
Yeah. Okay. See, I just don't know how that operates, but we're actually going to shift to seeing where our good friend GFed is currently right now, because I'm getting word that he's in some stadium somewhere because that's exactly what GFed does. So we're gonna swing it over to our sleepers correspondent, GFed, and see what he's up to really quick here.